Cole Engineering Services, Inc. developed patent-pending technology for live force-on-force training. This technology requires little to no appended equipment and makes use of soldier go-to-war kit. There are no laser transmitters, no detector vests, and no halos. We call this technology Optically Based Small Arms Targeting, or OBSAT. OBSAT compensates for known negative training from laser engagement systems. Most notably, lasers cannot fire through foliage that would not block a bullet. This creates negative training by subliminally blurring the distinctions between cover and concealment. Laser engagement systems do not reward good marksmanship skills, such as properly elevating the rifle based on target range and properly leading moving targets. Laser engagement systems do not enable soldiers and Marines to employ non-line of sight or indirect fire, such as grenade launchers or counter-defilade weapons. Appended equipment that is needed for laser-based training includes halos, vests, and laser transmitters that are costly to purchase and maintain. Our goal is to create a system in which shooters can engage targets that are partially occluded by foliage, must properly lead targets, must properly elevate weapons based on target range, can represent grenade launchers and other counter-defilade equipment, and do so with a minimum of appended equipment. The major components of OBSAT are the player unit, which includes the rifle, scope, orientation sensor, and net warrior device, and the OBSAT server. At 10 Hz, all participants in a training event report their location via the LTE radio to the OBSAT server, which tracks their locations. This is generally accurate to within 1.5 meters. The shooter then aims at a target. When he pulls the trigger, the player unit collects 3 elements of information: the shooter's location, weapon orientation, and sight picture. This information is transmitted via the LTE radio to the OBSAT server. Depending on the capability of the player unit, some image processing may take place on the player unit to reduce the amount of bandwidth needed. Target resolution is the first step in the hit detection pipeline. The target resolution algorithm uses shooter position, target positions, and scope field of view to determine which targets, if any, may be present in the sight picture. The image processing submodule identifies human targets within the sight picture. The sight picture is used to disambiguate this list and identify the single likely target. The hit resolution module uses the munitions flyout submodule to query the time of flight and distance above or below weapon sights for the fired munition at a specified time. The hit resolution module determines whether the round hits a target. It calculates the target position at the time of flight of the round. The calculation considers the rise or fall against the weapon sights. If the round intersects the target silhouette at the time of flight, a hit is scored. Damage to the target is calculated. OBSAT detects the portion of the body that was hit and generates a location-appropriate wound that is sent to the target's player unit. In the case of 40mm grenades, OBSAT uses a burst model to determine how players in the burst radius of the grenade are affected. When a target is wounded or incapacitated, this information is sent to the target's player unit. OBSAT also determines hit location and generates location-specific wounds. Here are examples of OBSAT functionality. In the first engagement, the shooter engaged a stationary target with a daylight scope. The results of the image processing shows the region selected by the computer vision algorithms containing a human target. The round is then flown out to the target. The shot is a hit because the aim point adjusted for target range is within the boundary of the target. In this example, the target is visible only from the waist up behind some foliage. With a laser engagement system, these bushes would stop a laser and result in a miss. With OBSAT, the electronic bullet hit the lower part of the target's body. In this example, the target is closer than 250 meters, so the shooter needs to aim low to hit the center of mass of the target. The results of the image processing show the region selected by the computer vision algorithms and the point of aim of the shooter. As the shooter did not aim low, the point of impact to the round is above the target, so OBSAT determines the result is a miss. OBSAT works with thermal scopes as well as optical ones. In this engagement, the shooter is targeting a moving target. The results of the image processing are shown. Also, the projected location of the target at the time of flight of the round is shown. The shooter aimed at the center of mass of the target, but the target was moving, so the round passed behind the target. A miss. The shooter was penalized for improper execution of basic rifle marksmanship skills. Note the closeness of the point of impact. A miss this close may well have been declared a hit with many laser engagement systems. In this engagement, on the other hand, the shooter properly leads the moving target. The results of the image processing are shown along with the projected location of the target at the time of flight of the round. Note how the point of impact intersects with the target's location because the shooter led the target the correct amount. CESI has also implemented a grenade launcher with OBSAT. Additional augmented reality work must be performed to provide an appropriate visual cue to the shooter. The point of impact of the grenade is determined by flying out the 40mm projectile. Radii of effect are constructed around the point of impact and casualties are assessed. While the technology is maturing, CESI has already demonstrated a credible technology worth continuing to develop as a potential replacement for laser-based engagement systems for force-on-force training. OBSAT eliminates the need for halos, vests, and laser transmitters by making use of soldier-worn go-to-war kit. CESI is continuing to mature the technology and is also working to apply the technology to Stinger missile simulators for force-on-force events. The OBSAT prototype uses surrogates for go-to-war equipment. This includes an AR-15 using E-blanks, a Net Warrior-like device, a daylight digital or thermal scope, a USB hub, and conformal battery developed for PEO Soldier, a COTS orientation sensor from Inertial Labs, and CESI developed patent-pending technology. In summary, CESI has developed the OBSAT technology that addresses the negative training of laser engagement systems and eliminates almost all appended equipment by leveraging a soldier's go-to-war kit. This is a rare instance in which we can provide better training while reducing the cost.